Hello, everyone, and welcome to the sixth Glimesh team meeting of the year of 2021. We're going to get started tonight with our traditional staff meeting format. For those of you who are new to this is basically a weekly meeting we do to help share what we've been working on, what's been going really well for us, what we're having trouble with. And then this meeting is also used to answer any kind of questions that people have that they've been meaning to ask, but they couldn't find the right time to do it, or they wanted to hear from us directly. As a reminder to everyone who's here, the way this works is if you're chatting in either the text chat here on screen or you're in our Discord with your voice, this will be broadcast live to the internet and recorded and published as a YouTube video. So if you don't consent to that, please don't talk in either the Discord voice or the text chat you can see on screen. All right, without further ado, let's get started. We've got a pretty neat meeting, I think, for tonight. We've got a couple of dev updates, a couple of, don't worry about that. A couple of dev updates, a couple of metric updates. We've got some merch updates and some payout updates. We'll try and be clear about everything as we proceed, but if you do have any questions that's related to what's on the screen, make sure you ask those questions so we can answer those. I'm sure other people have the same questions, so make sure you ask them. All right, on our metrics page, we kind of use metrics to track every week how we're doing, how we're progressing. We care a lot about social because social metrics are what helps us have an audience. And as a streamer, you know that audiences are very important. Well, as a streaming platform, audiences are important to us as well because that's how we can continue to share the content that's posted on our platform and engage with new users and hopefully bring them into the platform as well. So we track these every week. Not every week do we make announcements on social media. Not every week do we post on social media. But when we do, we can kind of see how that changes week by week. So we're up about 40 new users on Discord, 70 new followers on Twitter, 3 new Redditors, 21 new followers on Instagram. That number's going up actually pretty dramatically week over week, and we're not posting any new content. So people are actually they're making Instagram posts and they're tagging us in it, which is pretty nice. And then Facebook, 8. On the user side, we went up about 452 with 8 new apps, 8 new developer applications. And then on the MRR side, which is monthly recurring revenue, which is of course just testing money basically at the time, but it's real money that we're transmitting to the platform, but it's just with our testing group. That went up by $50. On the support side, we had 7 tickets on the last week, and then in this past week, we had 5 new tickets. All right, and then some of the wins. So these are some really cool ones actually this week. The first one I'll cover is super, is actually, you can see it live in this chat. Dmca implemented a new following message format. So whenever you click follow in chat, it'll actually now make this really nice small interface here that shows you that they followed the stream, which also prevents users from faking it. We're working on a couple of changes to the API, and then once we've made those changes, this will be available via the API as well. The other piece of news, which is pretty big, I want to be clear, this doesn't mean that we support all these countries yet, but we did actually finish up most of the code for Payouts, which is basically you as a streamer receiving money. We are able to support 33 different countries, not including the US, through Stripe. And so that list is here. So we can pay out to all of these countries. And we had to write a lot of code to do that. We had to actually write code that would take all of the subscriptions in the past week, sum them together, assign them to the streamer, and then pay out to that streamer. So that code now all works. But we are still pending a tax review. So we still have to make sure that we are, when we are paying out, we are filling out the right tax forms. We're requesting the right tax forms from you. And once we have that solved, then we'll be able to offer this fully to everyone. Another piece of detail about our payout system is it will be there for launch. So we will be doing payouts. We can't guarantee that it'll be for all of the countries, but we will be doing payouts on launch. And the way the payouts will work for us is they will be processed on Wednesday. So we'll run like payday. And then it'll take about 24 hours for Stripe, our partner, to do their kind of processing. And then you'll have it deposited into your bank account or card directly on Friday, basically. Now that date could change a little bit depending on your country and how exactly your payments work, especially with your bank. Your bank could, be a little bit slower, but it'll be as early as Friday. All right. Do you have any questions on that piece? I just want to make sure we answer them. That means that right now we did add the code support for these countries, but we're still waiting on the tax information before those countries can actually receive payouts. And then if anyone missed it, it's these countries right here. Give you a couple seconds.
Choose your fighter.
Switzerland. All right. All right, and the next thing, this is something that has been was initially a team effort, but then Ember took it upon herself to finish it. Basically, what she did was she took every single country in the world and mapped them against all of our all of our edge locations. And what that'll do is that means for our alpha launch, we'll be able to take whatever country you're viewing from and route you to an edge server, which is where you receive the video, an edge server closest to you. That'll hopefully make sure that you're getting the lowest latency streams. It'll hopefully make sure you have a great FTL experience. And this was just some painstaking work I want to show off real quick. Let me drag this down here. So this was manually put together. This is every country in the U.S. mapped to each edge location that we have. And so we'll encode this into the app and then or into the website, and then it'll automatically route you to the right place. So that's super awesome. And then the last thing that we did this past week is we implemented a mature content warning. The mature content warning is in place specifically for terms of service reasons. So we have terms of service, and it defines what exactly mature content is. And if you're streaming mature content on your stream, or if your stream normally contains mature content, you need to check this box. If you're interested in what exactly that means for you, when we have the terms of service finalized, you'll be able to see exactly what qualifies you for mature content. And what this will do for users is if you're not logged in, if you're just a random user, you're not logged in, it'll prompt this every single time. So you have to confirm that you consent to watching mature content. But if you're a registered user, you'll be able to just go to your preferences and select, yes, I always want to see mature content, and then you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, and let me clarify a couple things real quick about payouts. So at the moment, this could change. I don't want to say this could change because we have to see exactly what this does over time. But at the moment, as of right now, payouts will be weekly, and they will be no minimum payout. So, we get 1 penny in for you, we'll pay you out 1 penny. Now, it won't ever be 1 penny, but that's just an example. All right, let's keep moving.
One second, since you want to talk about the payouts right now, somebody asked if there's plan for Latin American countries, like supporting with payouts there.
I thought there was one. Yeah, right at the moment, we're kind of bound by what Stripe supports. I know on their main website, they support a lot more countries. Let me see if I can find real quick. So Stripe themselves does support a lot more than the 33 countries that we currently support. But as you can see, Brazil, for example, is in preview. India is in preview as well. Philippines, Gibraltar, Liechtenstein. I don't really know how to say that, so I apologize. Those are all in preview.
Liechtenstein.
So as Stripe kind of proves out these countries, as they get the relevant tax treaties, as they understand exactly what they're offering, they will add them to the cross-border payout list. But unfortunately, this is like a subset of the primary Stripe countries. So they don't support all of them. As an example, Mexico is fully supported on the Stripe list, but Mexico is not supported on our list. So we're not able to pay out to Mexico right now. We do a 50-50 split, which is a little bit higher than Twitch, I guess in this situation, but we take all the fees, so you get the full 250. We do have an infographic that has those details, but I can't find it right now.
I'll grab a link for you.
Okay, yeah, it's a pretty helpful infographic. It's Liechtenstein. That's how I pronounce it.
Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein? Gosh, no way.
Liechtenstein.
My tongue does not move like that. So anyways, if we don't support your country at the moment, we definitely want to. We're incredibly bound by time and resources right now. And what Stripe offers us is the ability to implement a payout solution with not a lot of time and resources. So as we grow, it's going to be easier to support more countries, but it won't be the immediate, it won't be on the for alpha launch list if it's not on that list. And here you go. Here's the streamer cut breakdown. So you can see that we take $5 and we cut it directly in half. You get yours straight through. And meanwhile, we pay the fees, the payment processing fees, and the chargeback fees, which you would normally pay if you were getting a payout through Twitch. Now, I do want to add. No, I'm not going to add that yet. Just kidding. I'll add that later. All right, I'm going to keep moving here. The other big thing, Hayden is actually here, but I want to just explain something real quick. So for Janus is one of the applications we use to help power the FTL that Glimesh uses, which is how you're watching the stream, how you will be streaming once you're all able to stream. And Hayden has pretty much tackled this project head on. And from, I think, basically from the first charity stream we did, and then a month later, Hayden had a working version of this. And now this update is basically a whole rewrite of that previous code. And I actually looked through some of it, and I wanted to share this with you. This little screenshot over here is the code that was involved in this rewrite. The rewrite is focused on not only code quality, but also putting together like a real architecture for it, and then increasing testability. And the screenshot on the right is all of the code that was changed in order to make that happen. And this, what I'm showing you right now, is 1/5 of it. So you can't even read that text. And this is only 1/5 of it. So I think that's a really awesome job. I looked at some of the code myself. I couldn't understand all of it. I'm not quite there yet. But it seems to be a really good focus on not only like documentation, right, explaining what these functions do and how they work, but also splitting things out in logical ways. That way we can add additional like features and functionality or I guess support on later. Hey, do you have anything you want to add there?
No, I think that covers it really well. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And one of the cool things to point out is Hayden did some improvements for I guess what are called NACs. And basically, with FTL, I'm sure you're all familiar with Mixer. There's often a lot of weird oddities, especially when you're not under perfect network conditions. Things like, the gray boxes, things like stuttering on the video, things like maybe an audio-video desync. What some of these features do, like NACs, for example, is they try to put the video back in the right order. That way you, the viewer, don't, get gray boxes, you don't get frames out of order, you get the right video at the right time. And I know Hayden's done a lot of work to really understand what like a knack is doing, what this process is doing, and make it even better. So I think a lot of people have concerns around how FTL will work for us, especially if they had issues with FTL for Mixer. And I think at this point, we can say that it's not Mixer's FTL anymore. It's Mixer's FTL that we've reverse engineered, and then we're adding improvements on. We're continuing to innovate on top of. So it may not be perfect on day one. It may not be anywhere near perfect on day one, but over time we can continue to improve it and evolve it, kind of in our own way. And as always, it's open source. We're giving back to the community. We're producing an FTL implementation you can use for your streaming site. And I think it's really just like a net positive for the world. So it's awesome. And then the last thing here is the server CPU so far is about cut in half from what it was with the previous build. So that's really awesome. Well, I'll not be happy until we break the laws of physics, Hayden. We need -second latency.
Start looking into quantum servers for us.
Quantum bandwidth.
People can watch me die before I do.
All right, let me break all this again. 1 sec. Presenter view. Nope. All right, the next thing is a super awesome resource that we've been putting together. This is called the Glimesh streaming guide, or the Glimesh Day 1 guide. What it's for is whenever we are launched, whenever we go live, we're going to email everyone. We're going to give them updates about the terms of service. We're going to give them updates about the privacy policy. We're going to tell them that they're live at the same time and that they can start streaming. And whenever we do that, we want to include all the information you need to actually be successful on Glimesh. So this streaming guide is a quick PDF guide. I think it's about 7 pages that walks you through how to get set up on Glimesh, what exactly you can do on Glimesh, what types of categories there are to stream, and then gives you kind of your next steps for getting support. And this will be something that every streamer receives in their inbox whenever they sign up, and it'll kind of just be like a quick guide to get going. So I know Jur has been working on this, Jur Hinning. I'm hopefully saying that correctly. And then I think he had some help from Bob Drum and the rest of the design community as well. So this looks super awesome. You'll see it in your inbox on day 1, and I hope everyone loves it. And it's full of glim drops. There's so many glim drops in it. I think there's like 20, 30, something like that. All right. And then the next slide contains a small announcement. It's not quite launch. It's not quite like opening this document here. What it is merch is ready. So we are ready to start selling merch. This is something that we've been working on for a little while. Merch is super important to us because merch for Glimesh, and I guess for everyone, is really a way to show that you're about it, to show that you support it, to show that you're proud of it and you feel, so good about it that you want to wear it on your body. Who wouldn't want that? So we are proud to announce that we've been testing out merch for a while. We've been really careful around what quality of merch, what type of print we use, and finding the right vendor that could help us sell t-shirts we're comfortable with. This isn't the best, this isn't perfect quality. There's some really exotic shirts out there, but this will be a really nice cotton t-shirt. It'll be branded with the Glimesh logo on the front with Next Gen Streaming under it, and then on your left shoulder will be the Glimesh logo. We're going to start selling them either this week or very early next week. We're waiting on one more thing to wrap up. And the first week of sales, and maybe a couple of weeks into it, we're actually going to have to limit the amount of inventory that we can sell. So the first week we'll have 50 shirts available. Now this doesn't mean that we're going to stop selling them and you won't be able to get it. This just means that the first week only, maybe the second week, we'll only have about 50 shirts. Hopefully, we can get to a point where we don't have to put any kind of limit and we can just sell everything that they can make. But in the very beginning, it'll be limited to about 50 shirts. And then we'll have small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, and 3XL. I know a lot of people have asked for extra small and then sizes that are larger than 3XL. But right now, the t-shirt that we chose didn't have those sizes. So we have to order a new t-shirt brand. And we want to make sure that that new t-shirt brand is the same quality that we expect. We don't want to sell you merch that we haven't personally worn and personally tested. For me, I actually wore this shirt on a podcast recently for an entire day, and it was very comfortable. It worked very well. So the price is very simple. We don't discriminate against the size of your body by charging you more. The way it works is it's $23 for a shirt of any size, and then $5 shipping. So if you order 2 shirts, you only pay 1 shipping fee, and that's shipping to anywhere on the planet, flat $5. As we continue to grow, as we continue to understand what merch is, we will sell more merch, things like hats, things like shirts without the sleeves, apparently. That's a thing. I didn't know that. And
You didn't know sleeveless shirts were a thing?
I don't know what does that mean.
You are really showing your age.
I
Oh
always
my
wear
God.
sleeve full shirts. Like I want it to go as deep as possible.
It's like, imagine a vest, but it's a t-shirt. There you go.
If people want that.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
want that.
Great.
Okay.
Great for the gym or summer. Not
Okay.
everybody lives where it snows, all right?
Hey, shut up.
So anyways, so we do hope to add more merch as we go on. Things like hats, hoodies, even personalized merch. This is something that we really want to do in the future, is basically offer, like an esports jersey, right? Which is Glimesh on the front, and maybe on the back it has your name, or maybe something customized like that. And we want to offer that to everyone, right? We don't want to limit the streamers who get that. If you're proud of your stream, if you're proud of being on Glimesh, it's yours. So we'll see where we're at. We'll continue to grow over time. For now, we're only going to have shirts available. We do need to make stickers at some point, but we're going to have to do a little bit of finagling on that. We got to make sure they come out correctly. But for launch, or not for launch, for merch launch, we'll have just these t-shirts. We'll be sure to tweet it out whenever we're ready to sell, so make sure you just check our Twitter. We'll put it in Discord as well, and all the other social medias, to be honest. The sleeve full version will come later with the hood full and the front pocket function. And I'll tell a quick story. So the 50 limit is completely artificial. The way it works for us right now is our merch provider and our merch vendor, the people who actually print the shirts, are 2 different people. And one of them pays us and the other one charges us, and those times don't sync up. So if too many people buy merch in the first week or the second week, it could literally empty out our bank balance. So we're gonna wait for that to kind of grow up a little bit, and then we'll feel more comfortable selling merch to everyone. All right. Anyone have any more questions on that? Yeah, if you pre-order 100, we're gonna have a real bad time. Gosh, I don't know about boxers. That's such a interesting.
Dude, I would totally wear boxers with the glim drops on, like the background on boxers, the chat
that'd
background
be
on
great.
boxers. That'd
I
be
would
great.
Man, this one?
100%
Right?
wear those boxers.
Oh yeah, I would too. Yeah.
Psychotic wants a bikini.
I want to clone a rubber ducky that I can throw when I get angry at code.
Kizame asks, will it say Glimesh Alpha? No, but I do understand your sentiment. You want it to basically be able to show off that you've been here since launch, and I do think we haven't really talked about this yet, but I do think that these shirts would be a limited run. I think they would end at some point into the alpha, and we would move on to a different shirt. So I think you'll have that kind of inherently. But who knows right now. You can't become yellow yet. Sorry. No, we're not going to change the design at this point. This is what we're going with. It is already ordered, already printed. They're actually not printed. They're print on demand, but same thing. And then there's no pre-orders. So if we don't have your size right now, or if we're out of stock for the week, we're not going to do pre-orders. You can just come back. Sorry about that. Final Fantasy. Don't talk about it. I really want to play right now, so I'm just going to keep going here. All right. As always, ongoing challenges. These are things we like to remind you are problems for us. The first one you're all acutely aware of. There's a lack of information around foreign tax and legal obligations. Even today, we were doing a little bit more discussing to figure out exactly what IRS form we're supposed to send everyone, and it's still not entirely certain. And this is still a very complicated subject. We do have the U.S. 100% figured out at this point. In fact, all of the U.S. taxes will be automated. So after you receive, X amount of money in the U.S., you'll actually be issued a tax form directly. It'll be shipped to your house, and then you'll file that with your taxes in order to pay the tax man. But for outside of the U.S., we still have a lot more to figure out there. If you don't pay your taxes, please don't say that in chat. Please just don't say that. And then the next thing is always, Dmca. We want to help make sure our streamers are informed. We want to make sure that they know exactly what's going on. We did publish a Dmca page recently that helps illustrate how Dmca works for us. There's still more to do there, but I'm feeling pretty good about that one. And then the lack of 3D secure support I almost fixed yesterday, but then I abandoned it to focus on payouts instead. So hopefully we'll be able to get the 3D secure in very soon. My income isn't income, it's just money that's incoming to me.
I found this money in my bank account for working.
All right. Anyone have any questions on those? I abandoned 3D secure because I wanted to focus on payouts. Yeah. Which is entirely way more complicated. I wrote like a whole. Ugh, it's awful. I guarantee you we're gonna have some kind of issue. All right, and then a roadmap update. I actually think we're almost ready to check 2 of these off. I think very soon. We've got another test to do for stream stability mitigations, and there is some more work to do there, but I think that one's almost ready to be checked off. And then payment controls. Well, I just got billing notifications and card changes implemented, and retries are there. So it's got to finish up payouts, get that live, and then, interesting. Interesting. No, there's definitely still more stuff to do. We actually have these are huge items. These are like what would be like an epic level item. We do have a to-do list though that is, maybe 50 or so more other items that we have to kind of finish off before we can go live. But it is, we're at the end game here. Early 2021 ends in a couple of months, so we'll be launched by then, hopefully. All right. With that, if anyone has any questions related to these slide contents, now is your chance. If you have any other questions besides those, just hold on to them for a moment. We're going to end the recording. We're going to keep the stream going to answer any kind of questions you have. But if anyone has any questions on these slides, let me know now.
There was a question on scalability that pertains to the last slide, right?
Sure.
Is scalability tech side mostly done and now just needs stress testing, or is it still a challenge before launch?
Yeah, scalability is, we know what the solution is for scalability, and we have everything we need to put it in place. At the moment, we're only testing, a small region. We're basically testing New York at the moment, but scalability, we do have multiple ingest, multiple edge. That's all set up. And then on the web server side, like Glimesh.tv, that's running 2 servers now, which are load balanced. So that one I think is pretty solved. Now, as soon as we launch, literally the second we launch, that item becomes, white again, and we got to fix that. But, that's just a growing pain. That's just something we'll learn through and fix. Gosh, none of the servers are anything above 4% CPU. It's amazing. All right, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording now. Thank you all for stopping by. See you later.